everybody. So today we are making a treasure candle. So today we're adding rose petals, lavender, as well as a pirate coin and a few other goodies that are going to be in this candle. It's going to be going on to a friend's ours today. So we're going to start by burning some of the incense that we're including in the candle, so we can charge that up real nice. Alright, so to start this project, you're going to need some aluminum wire, a can, beverage can, any size, doesn't matter. Just make sure it's made of aluminum, otherwise getting it out is going to be really hard. So, start there and wrap the wire around the very tip of the wick here a couple times to make sure it's nice and secure. Then you want to get it inside, and you want to line that up in the center real good. That's kind of off because I had to pick it up. So once you get it aligned and lined up and all that, my advice, leave it alone. Try and keep the things you add on the outside, because if they're not, there's a chance they could end up in the middle. They could end up too close to the wick, and the wax will actually be absorbed. And that will actually cause potential for fire. And I don't mean the good kind involving candle. Aligning it can be tricky, but once you got it, just leave it alone. A couple of slits in the side or holes to secure the wire is quite handy as well. The first color we're doing is purple, so let's get on that. This can be quite hot, so please use something to protect your hand. And pour carefully. If you're on top of your carpet, have a piece of paper or something lining it. And pour until you see fit. You want to leave it alone to dry. This can take a little while. Up to half an hour depending, so be patient. I'm using a low power hot plate and a steel food can to melt my wax today on medium heat. Every so often, go to your wax, give it a little stir, just make sure it's melting okay, might speed up the process a bit, check the progress, and be realistic about how big the layer that you want to make is going to be. Don't fill the can. For one, filling the can all the way is going to make pouring it actually harder. It's going to make it easier to spill. Secondly, only melt as much as you're going to need. Some of you at this point may be wondering, I could just put this in the fridge. It's going to make it cool down a lot faster. Don't do that. Wax, when it cools, has a tendency to cave in and form a cavity in the middle, and it'll shrink down. So the faster it cools, the more it's going to do that. Be patient. Okay, so it's been about a half hour, and it's still not quite ready. I don't know if you can see, I'm going to do my best to show you. Okay, so you can see that nice matte color, and it's starting to not look wavy or bubbly on top, and that's what you want to start seeing. However, it's still quite warm down here. It's, as long as it's still above what you would consider lukewarm, it's too hot. I'm not gonna lie for a second. Making candles, especially in your room, is such a peaceful project, especially if you're working with scented candles, because it makes everything in the room just smell so amazing. So, it's been about 45 minutes, and our next layer of beautiful red is ready to pour. can is very hot, so make sure you're protecting your hands. Pour that in. It's going to be nice and good. Take some of the additions you're going to add and carefully spread them out along the side, not too close to the wick. You get them too close to the wick, and again, they will absorb the wax, and the candle could potentially become a fire hazard. So be careful when you're adding them. Just a little bit per layer. You can stir them around a little bit with your twig and to get a few of them to sink. And that'll add the cool infusion bit. So I'm going to do that with the lavender first. Push some of them down, give them a stir. Not all of them are going to sink. That's fine. Be patient with it. Take the rose petals in your next layers and break them up into bits. So that way you're not having a huge clump in one spot. One petal per layer is more than enough. There's no reason to overload it. The treasures I'm going to add are going to be, in this particular case, several gemstones and rocks. These rocks I gathered from two volcanoes, Mount Rainier and Mount Baker. I also have some amethyst, some rose quartz, some regular quartz, smoky quartz, and some moonstone. So I'm going to be adding a little bit of all of these to this one. You don't need to add too much. So there's the amethyst, and I'm going to add them carefully. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the rose quartz. Regular quartz. These have all been charged under full moons. This is moonstones. Adding those in. Then I'm going to pick a small stone. Oh, looks like these also contain some of my beach stones. That's a piece that I definitely bought from Mount Baker. This one I got from Rips on Mount Baker. I'm going to add these to the other side. That's going to be it for that layer. Be careful with knives. Another quick random tip. If the candle, when it starts getting bigger, it still might retain a bit of heat. So another good way to tell if it's ready for another pour is try and pick it up and just give it a little squeeze. And if you can still kind of squish it, it's too hot. Adding the last layer. Good morning, everyone. So, it's about 8 o'clock in the morning, the following morning, and this is what we're left with. As you can see, there's a good divot there. So that's expected. So let's melt some of the same color wax from last night that we have left over and fill that hole. So gently give that a nice pour, not too high. just want to bring it to level. If you don't want to hassle with the wire later, you can carefully remove it now. Now comes my favorite part. Unwrapping. Which is a lot easier than it looks. These little slits in the side come in very handy. Observe. Now be careful when you're doing this. The sides are very, very sharp, and I have cut myself on more than one occasion. Oh my goodness, I'm loving how this is turning out. Oh my gosh. If you have trouble taking off at the bottom, don't be afraid to poke a little hole through the very bottom. It's just being stuck there because of the air. There we go. So, here we have it. A 4-layer multicolor candle. You can see some of the treasures in there. There's the pirate coin. You can see there's lavender and bits all around. I really love the speckles that came out with the in here. But yeah, making a candle. And that's just one. It's a lengthy process, so my advice would be make more than one at a time. I just made this one today because it was for a friend and I wanted to give you a basic step-by-step tutorial. So that's it. So, thank you so much for joining me today. This has been a really fun project, making this video for you all. If you want to see more candle making videos, more quick, less tutorial, maybe like TikTok-ish kind of length, please let me know down in the comments. If there's anything else you want to see regarding candles, also say that in the comments. I'm trying to figure out a name for my channel, so I will definitely looking for ideas. Again, comments. If you liked this, please like, please subscribe, and potentially share with your friends. And all of you have an amazing witchy day.